So in previous lecture we have finished with the introduction of rigid rotor. So there are three types of rotational motion that can be possible in the given molecule. Okay. So one is the rotation about the bond axis. So rotation about the bond axis means likewise rotation. Okay. Then another one is the end over rotation in the vertical plane, means one atom is moving in this direction and another in this direction. And last one is the end over rotation in the horizontal plane. Okay, so one atom is moving in the clockwise direction and another one is the in the anti-clockwise direction. Okay, so this is the three types of motion that can be observed in the given molecule. So in order to study the rotational motion, we know that the important concept related with the rotational motion is the moment of inertia. Okay, like we are studying, if we are the normal motion, then we need to consider the mass of the body as well as its velocity. Okay, but in the case of rotational motion, we need to mainly focus on the moment of inertia of the given body. Okay, so moment of inertia of simple diatomic molecule. So in order to generate the simple diatomic molecules, we will consider it as the rigid rotor. Okay, rigid rotor. So the simple diatomic molecule in real practice will have certain vibrational motion also, but we will neglect that vibrational motion and we will be mainly focusing upon the rotational motion of that particular molecule. So consider the rigid diatomic polar molecule having the masses of m1 and m2, and they are separated by the distance of r. Okay, so consider this is the case. Okay, here we are having the two atoms, that is m1 and m2, which are separated by the distance of r. Okay, this should be the small r. Okay, and suppose this is the center of gravity. Okay, this is the center of gravity of the molecule. So if you want to like have the distance of this atom m1 or the atom 1 from the center of mass is to be r1, as well as for the atom 2 the center of mass distance is r2. Okay, so these are the certain assumptions that has been made. So let the masses of molecule 1 atom 1 and atom 2 bar m1 and m2, which are separated by distance r. So let r1 and r2 be the distance of these atoms from this center of gravity about which the molecule is going to get rotated. Okay, now the moment of inertia for the particle of mass m revolving around the fixed point which is separated by a distance of r is given by the formula of this mr square. Okay, mr square. Now for the diatomic molecule, the total moment of inertia is what? The moment of inertia due to the first molecule, first atom, and plus the moment of inertia due to the second atom. So total moment of inertia I is comes out to be m1 r1 square plus m2 r2 square. But since this system is being what? The balanced one, so the moments of both of these atoms are considered to be the equal. So moment of first atom is equals to moment of second atom. So moment is given by what? m1 r1, which is equals to m2 r2, because this system is being the completely balanced one. Okay, we are considering the rotation about the center of mass, so it is the balanced system. Now next is the, we just need to simply substitute the value for this m1 r1. Okay, so in this equation we have just simply substituted the value for m1 r1, so we get m2 r2 r1 plus here also we have substituted the value for m2 r2, so we get the m1 r1 n2 r2 again. Now we take the common r1 r2, so we have left with only m1 plus m2. But we know that this distance r1 and r2 is what? Is the summation. If we done the summation of r1 and r2, we will get the total distance of separation, that is r. So we just need to simply rearrange the equation by using this equation here. So find out the value for r1 and just simply substitute here. So we get that r1 plus m1 r1 upon m2, or r1 is common, taking common out, so we have left with only 1 plus m1 upon m2. So r is comes out to be what? r1 into m1 plus m2. Similarly, we can say that this r1 is equals to what? m2 upon m1 plus m2 into r, or r2 is equals to again m1 into m1 plus m2 into r. So that is simple the rearrangement thing. Okay, so if we have done the rearrangement, we will get these equations directly. Now substituting these values of r1 and r2 in the given equation, that is equation number 5.12. so there we need to substitute the value for r1 and r2. So we get the moment of inertia value as the m1 m2 upon m1 plus m2. Okay, m1 m2 upon m1 plus m2. But this term, that is m1 m2 upon m1 plus m2, is called as the reduced mass of the system, and it is represented by the symbol of nu. Okay, so we can say this I is equals to mu r square. This is the important relation for the moment of inertia of what? Rigid body. Okay, so this equation is useful for calculating the moment of inertia of this simple diatomic molecule, where the intermolecular or internuclear distance r and the respective masses of the two atoms are known, and the vibrational motion is being restricted one. Okay, so these are the important equation for the rigid rotor. So just keep in mind this formula, final formula. Okay, so for the normal motion, we can calculate the moment of inertia by what? M r square. But for the moment of for the rotational motion, instead of this mass, we are taking what? The reduced mass. That is the only change. So just remember this. We are not using the total masses. We are using the reduced masses. Okay, we are not using total masses of the rotating body, but we will use the reduced mass. And how we can calculate the reduced mass? It is simply m1 m2 upon m1 plus m2. Okay, now next part is the energy of the rotating molecule. Okay, energy of the rotating molecule. So according to Bohr's quantization theory, the this quantum theory, from the quantum theory we can get the rotation of the given molecule with the angular velocity omega, and the angular momentum, which is equals to what? The integral multiple of h upon 2 pi. That is, the angular momentum is the integral multiple of nh upon 2 pi, where n is the integer. Okay, n is being the integer, positive integer. So this is the hypothesis in the quantum mechanics. So from there we can say this angular momentum is the integral multiple of this nh upon 2 pi. Now the angular momentum of a body rotating with the angular velocity omega and having the moment of inertia is given by this mass into velocity. Okay, mass into, because we know this momentum is what? Momentum is simply the mass into velocity of that particular object, but this is for the linear motion. Okay, this momentum is for the linear motion, but if you consider the angular momentum, means for the rotational motion. So for the rotational motion, so we know that this moment of inertia is need to consider, because we are considering the reduced mass. So indirectly we need to consider the moment of inertia, and this omega is what? This omega is the angular velocity and not the linear velocity. So that is the change. Okay, for the rotational motion. Now from the above equation, or from the quantum mechanic hypothesis, we can say that this angular momentum is equals to what? The integral multiple of nh upon 2 pi. So we can say that this nh upon 2 pi is equals to I into omega. So as the quantum conditions are applicable to the rotational systems, the angular momentum should be equals to jh upon 2 pi, where j is comes out to be the what? The rotational quantum number. Okay, so instead of taking this integer, we will consider apply this uh, theory to simply the rotational motion. So for rotational motion, we will generate a new quantum number, which is called as a j, which is simply the rotational quantum number, which is having the positive integer values. That is same as that for the n, but instead of representing n, because it will be the generalized concept. Okay, but for the rotational motion, we will represent it by the j, that is having the value of 0 1 2 3 up to so on. Okay, so this is various energy levels. Now the kinetic energy for the rotating molecule is given by again same. Okay, so for regular kinetic motion, for the linear kinetic motion, we are having kinetic moment of what? Kinetic energy as half of mv square. So now instead of mass we will take the moment of inertia, instead of velocity we will take the angular velocity. Okay, that is the difference. So this kinetic rotational kinetic energy is half I into omega square. So upon multiplying and dividing by the moment of inertia we get the I square omega square upon 2i. But this